I know these days we use AI for a lot of things, like writing assignments, applications for jobs, writing CVs. I have one request. When you have used AI, please make sure that you have the last say and you check what AI has written. You are more intelligent than AI, so don't replace yourself with AI. AI is not your brain. It's just there to help you make your work simpler and easier. Welcome to This Week on CITE. My name is Zenzele Ndebele, and today in the program we'll be talking to one of the people who's leading in the field of AI. We'll be talking to Paul McNally. He's the founder of Develop AI. But before we do that, let's get the news from the AI industry with Alice.
Think the AI industry can't get any more exciting? Think again. Every day, we see a new AI breakthrough or tool shaping our world. But have you been following the drama between OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and his former friend and business partner Elon Musk? Sam Altman just rejected Musk's massive $97.4 billion takeover bid, part of a years-long battle for control of the AI startup they co-founded a decade ago as a non-profit. Meanwhile, OpenAI's board has officially turned down Musk's nearly $100 billion offer for ChatGPT, the world's most famous AI tool. Experts say this might not be the end of Musk's ambitions, though, because his move could still complicate Altman's plans to transform OpenAI from a non-profit into a for-profit entity. So, in an industry evolving at lightning speed, how do you think this high-stakes showdown will shape the future of AI?
My problem with Elon is that sometimes he behaves like a bully. He wants to be everywhere and in anything, and he just uses his money to bulldoze himself in almost every corner. But anyway, Alice, I know that there are people who love Snapchat, and Snapchat has just developed a new app. Can you please tell us about that?
Snap has unveiled an AI text-to-image research model for mobile devices that will power some of Snapchat's features in the coming months. The company said on Tuesday that the model can produce high-resolution images in around 1.4 seconds on an iPhone 16 Pro Max. The new diffusion model runs entirely on the device, which reduces computational costs compared to models that rely on large servers. Snap notes that the model can create stunning visual results by transferring rich representations from large-scale diffusion models to this smaller and more efficient model. Snap plans to bring the technology into production in the coming months to help power the app's AI snaps, AI Bitmoji backgrounds, and more.
If you are a content creator, I suggest you try this tool by Snapchat. I'm sure it can do a lot of amazing things.
Before you introduce our guest, when you introduced the show you talked about people using AI to write assignments and job applications. Anthropic, the company behind one of the world's most popular AI writing assistants, requires that all job applicants confirm they haven't used an AI to help draft their applications. Although the company encourages the use of AI tools to boost efficiency, they insist that your application reflect your own skills and genuine interest in Anthropic. Applicants are asked to check yes to acknowledge they understand this policy and to allow the company to assess their personal communication skills without AI assistance. This requirement appears on nearly all of Anthropic's roughly 150 current job listings, spanning roles from software engineering and finance to communications and sales, though it's not used for some technical positions like mobile product designer. Notably, Anthropic introduced its conversational AI assistant, Claude, in 2023. As an AI presenter, I cannot confirm that this program was not produced by AI.
Please note, Alice is an AI presenter, and we also use AI to draft the script and to do research for this show. Today in the program, we have a special guest, Paul McNally. He is Develop AI's founding director, an award-winning journalist, and an entrepreneur with over 20 years experience in starting companies in AI, podcasting, and community radio. Paul has won 16 awards, including the CNN African Journalist of the Year. He's based in Cape Town. Recently, he developed an AI app called the Media Map. In this program, we'll be talking to him about this app. Okay, thank you for joining us, Paul. And maybe my first question to you is briefly tell us about the work that you do as Develop AI.
So thanks so much for having me. The work for Develop AI is that we want to help media organizations around the world, but also especially in Africa, to stay abreast of AI development. So we've been training news organizations from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, but then also further afield in terms of Serbia. I want to be able to help them, not just train them, but also implement AI strategies into their newsrooms so then they can increase their products. So maybe better investigative journalism, more sophisticated video and audio. But then also the key is to make their businesses more viable, more sustainable, and kind of crack that problem of media organizations struggling for money.
Yeah, I think media sustainability is quite a talk right now, and right at this time when everyone is talking about how do I get myself sustainable. But you have this new, I would say, an app. I'll call it is it an app or a program? You know, the Media Map. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I think it's crucial that, you know, especially when you're doing training with AI, that you don't keep everything analog. I've done a lot of trainings, and really, when you do that, you're in a room like it was the 80s, and you teach a bunch of people with pens and sticky notes. So this is a way to kind of something that's digital. So it's a web app that media organizations can use. They can talk about their organization. They can get advice around how to implement AI into their workflows, into how they want to operate. But the key of this, it takes all that information, everything you've been discussing, and then it creates insights for that media organization. It basically guides you through your path to becoming, like I say, like more sustainable and having a better outlook in AI for your organization. So the key to me is you have so many cool conversations all the time, and then that information is lost. And the key around data and AI sort of analysis is being able to harness all that and harvest it, and then turn it into something that's actually operational. What this web app Media Map really does.
So is this more like an AI mentor that will give you directions on how you can use the information that you have, but also gives you intel on the work that you do?
Exactly. And I think the key, and not to put myself out of a job, training is important, but at the same time, like so much of this stuff, the more specific training can be and the more specific advice. So exactly, mentoring is the key word to this. So what might work for CITE might not work for another organization. So the idea is to then bring in everything you might need for your organization and guide you on that path with a whole range of different tools and insights and all these things that we have out there. And frankly, you'll know this, that AI, sort of the media churn of AI is becoming deafening. And I think an app like this can really help people just get the information that they also need to help them. Otherwise, you're just lost in a sea of information at this point.
On that note, is my job under threat as a media trainer now that we have AI that can actually guide people on what to do? Am I relevant in the next few months or years?
I think the key, first of all, definitely, I'm finding is that people ultimately absorb information face to face. They absorb things in a way that is tactile. But you spend so much of your time behind your computer that you need someone to mentor, to use your word, and help you, every second of the day. And you don't have a train that. You won't be reduced in the amount of trainings, say, a media organization does or any business does. But then that information, that sort of help that you would get in training is now at every point of your process. I mean, we've seen it in a kind of crude form with coding. So you have a little chat bot that you can now talk to around your coding. And Media Map is about bringing that to the journalism space, bringing that in a way that complements like in-person and more complicated trainings at periodic times.
Yeah, my last question is, I'm trying to keep up with AI, and every day there's something new. ChatGPT, Media Map. There's DeepSeek. I was experimenting today with is it Quake 2.5? The
Yeah.
Alibaba kind of thing. It's just every day something is happening. And in the trainings that I've had with journalists, they're saying, where is this AI going? As someone who's working with AI, what's the future looking like?
Well, I mean, it's interesting about all that information because I write a newsletter weekly about AI, and I also am very conscious that you don't want to just be adding to that noise, right? So if you're writing about it and trying to think about it, you also want to try and be doing something new for people, that you're not just replicating all this kind of news churn. I think the way it's going is why it's so confusing is that it feels, and I think rightly so, scramble, like these big tech companies that we've seen pretty stable in terms of their products for like the last 10 years, all of a sudden now seem to be scrambling around to become the top dog. And I think if you're following closely, you can kind of feel a bit discombobulated by that. Like, should I go with Gemini? Musk offered a huge amount of money, but not big enough to OpenAI to buy it. And, all that stuff is kind of jostling in the background. I think in terms of where AI is going in terms of their products, is they all want one bot, kind of like the movie Her. Sam Altman said that they all want one bot that you just talk to and it does everything for you, from booking your dinner reservations to helping you with complicated business problems. If they get there or not, okay. At the moment, that's where they're all trying to head. And probably only one, maybe two of them can win at that, right? So they can't all win. So there is a sort of an interesting space. If you're in the back where you're a journalist, you are kind of watching it with curiosity, and you're kind of thinking who will win and who should you build your app into, right? I mean, that's also something like for journalists who are starting to code and they're relying on the systems. There's also an element where you're like, okay, I need to figure out who I'm backing. Like, do I now go with DeepSeek and now build my app? Do I stay loyal to OpenAI? Not that you can't change them as you go, but there is something worthwhile to keep up with, like which ones of these does the job that you need to do better.
Okay, let's end it there on that very busy note.
Thanks, Zenzele, for that interview with Paul. It was very enlightening. With that interesting chat, let's make another date next week. Please don't forget to like, share and comment.